What's up, guys? It's Mike T Hip Hop, and today I have for you guys the 5 most underrated rappers right now. For this list, I'm focusing on some well-known rappers that I feel don't get the true credit they deserve. If you think there's any rappers I left off this list, please let me know in the comments below. At number 5, we have Dave East. So Dave East is a Harlem rapper who a lot of you probably know from the 2016 XXL Freshman cover. And out of all the rappers that were on that list, he's probably the one who didn't blow up as much as everyone else did. Now, I like him because lyrically he's really good, and his storytelling is also really great. He showed that on his latest mixtape called Kyrie Chanel, which was all around a very good project. Now, he's only put out mixtapes, and they've all been really solid. He's actually had some pretty big names on them, too, like 2 Chainz, The Game, and even Nas. And I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why he's overlooked. He hasn't really put out an actual album yet, and it's just been mixtapes. And also, he hasn't really had a hit song. However, he is supposed to be releasing a debut album sometime by the end of this year, so we'll see what happens after he releases that. But if you don't know who he is, definitely check him out. And number 4, we have Denzel Curry. So Denzel Curry was also on the 2016 XXL Freshman cover, and although I do like Dave East, I'd probably have to say Denzel is the best rapper overall that was on the list that year. I mean, he's a great lyricist, and he also had some hit songs last year with Ultimate, which got popular off the Water Bottle Challenge, and ULT was also a pretty big song. But the main reason I think he's so underrated is because, in my opinion, his album Imperial from last year was one of the top hip-hop albums of 2016. It didn't really sell that much, and for that reason, a lot of people may have not heard it, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. It's an amazing album. He also very recently put out an EP called 13. That has a few experimental songs on it, but overall, for an EP, it was really good. And he put that out to hype up his next album that he says is coming out very soon, and hopefully that will be as good as his last album. But yeah, Denzel is pretty young, so hopefully with his next album, more people will get to see how talented he really is. And at number 3, we have Danny Brown. Now, Danny Brown is one of the only older artists on this list, but his first album didn't come out until 2010, so he definitely still qualifies for this generation of rappers. But the thing I like so much about Danny Brown is how different he is from any other artist, especially from the sound of his voice. That specifically is something that some people don't really like, but it definitely is what makes him so original. And he's also respected by so many artists. He's really cool with A$AP Rocky, and he's made songs with Kendrick Lamar, Earl Sweatshirt, and even Eminem. So rappers do recognize his talent, but still, people don't really talk about him when the discussion comes up of the best rappers in hip-hop. But most importantly, what makes him so underrated to me is his last album, Atrocity Exhibition. That album, not only, in my opinion, was the best rap album last year, but it might have been the best album out of any genre. That album was just so different and so dark that not enough people had checked it out, so definitely listen to it if you haven't already. At number 2, we have Vince Staples. So in my last video, I put Vince's Big Fish Theory in my list for the best albums of June, and the reason I liked it so much was his production on it was just so different for a hip-hop album, and everything from his lyrics to his flow was just all around really solid. His first album, Summertime '06, was great, and the EP Prima Donna that he put out last year was really awesome as well. I really don't think he's put out a bad project yet. But for me, the reason I see him as just so underrated is because, like all the artists on this list, he doesn't get much radio play. But most importantly for him, his albums don't really sell that much. For example, his first 2 projects only sold about 10K first week, and his most recent album, Big Fish Theory, only sold about 27K first week. But that is a big improvement, and it definitely shows that he's getting more popularity. But overall, I really do feel like Vince is one of the best artists out right now, so he definitely deserves more sales than he's getting. So before I get into the number 1 spot, I do want to give out a few honorable mentions. And those people are No Name, Vic Mensa, Ab-Soul, and Isaiah Rashad. And finally, at number 1, we have Joey Badass. So the reason I put Joey number 1 on this list is because when people discuss the top 3 rappers alive right now, a lot of people don't even mention Joey Badass. Now, in my opinion, I think Joey is the second best rapper in the world right now, behind Kendrick. Lyrically, he is amazing, and he currently has one of the best discographies in all of hip-hop. Like, a lot of people don't even realize it, but when he put out his first mixtape, 1999, he was only 17, and that to me is one of the best mixtapes of the decade so far. Now, although over the past year he's gained a lot more popularity, his most recent album All American Badass hasn't even gone gold yet. And in my opinion, I think that's one of the best, if not the best, hip hop albums this year. But the scary thing is Joey is only 22, so he really hasn't even hit his prime yet. So hopefully more people start to realize how good this guy is in the future, and hopefully he'll be nominated for a Grammy this next year. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.